Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Judith. If you're new here, please subscribe, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for tuning in. So today we'll be talking about how I knew he was the one, and he'll be talking about how he knew I was the one. So this is a question that I've received the most, so I decided to talk about it today and share it with you guys. So I hope you learn something from it. So should I start with you or ladies first, or
ladies first?
Gentlemen first.
Ladies first.
Ladies first. Okay. So no, but I want you to start first.
I insist.
Okay, so how I knew you were the one. I don't think I've told you this before. I don't know if I've told you. Let me know if I've told you before. But I don't think I've told you before. I think I've told just when it happened, I told just one person. And then maybe later on, after we got married, I told my friends. I don't know if I've told you. So how I knew Tola was the one. So growing up, when I was, I think, 15, I knew that I was going to marry a Yoruba person. How did I know? Because I just love Yoruba songs, and I used to sing lots of Yoruba songs. And there was this woman at our family friend. So each time she tells me to sing Yoruba song, I will sing it to her, and she was very happy to see someone that is not Yoruba singing Yoruba song, you know, with so much passion. And I was singing it right, actually. And then she now told me that I was gonna marry a Yoruba person. And then in school, our matron too told me that she knows that I'm going to marry a Yoruba person. So since then, I used to just say I'm going to marry a Yoruba person. And that was my number one criteria. It was stupid, Sha, but that was my number one criteria. You know, you have to be Yoruba. But yeah. So let me not digress. Maybe that will be a story for another day, right? I want to keep this video short, so I will not go into those stories for today. So there was a day that I had this dream. So I had a dream that I was getting married to him. And this was in 2014. And 2014, I just moved from Windsor, where I was schooling, to Brampton. So I started going to this church, and I saw him. He was an usher. No, he's still an usher. So when I saw him, he just greeted me, and we just, exchanged pleasantries, and that was it. Nothing more, nothing less. And then then my friends started saying that, oh, Judy, that's your husband. And that thing, it got me mad. We even fought about it, but that's another story for another day. So when I went home, maybe after 2 months, he traveled. And when he traveled, but I didn't know that he went to Nigeria then. I had this dream that I was getting married to him, and there was another person that I liked in that dream, but I was supposed to get married to him. So that person that I liked wanted me to let's just have a nice moment together for the last time before I get married to him. But I was telling him that it's wrong. This is wrong. I can't do that. And he was just trying to persuade me in that dream. And then I just sat down, and I was confused. I didn't know what to do, And then when I woke up, I just knew that there's a possibility that, this is my husband. Have I told you that dream before? Yes. I told you that I didn't, even before he asked me, before he told me that he loved me, or before he told me that, it looks like, we're gonna be doing some loving together. Before he told me that, I knew that, there's a possibility that he could be my husband. But of course I didn't tell him. One, because I wasn't interested, one, and number two, then I thought he was short. Number three, there were just stupid standards that I set for myself then, that I just did not see him in that category at all. I was just blinded by, like I said, my stupid standards. So I won't say I was praying constantly. You know, once in a while I'll pray about it, because I started praying for my husband since when I was like 14, 15, thereabout. Because my mom used to tell us that, you know, you have to pray for whoever you want to marry. So I started praying at a very early age, and whoever I want to marry, that, you know, when it gets to that time, that I won't be confused and it won't be difficult for me to identify that person. So when I knew that there was a possibility that I might end up with him, I just told one person about the dream, but I didn't tell that person that it was him. I just said someone, and she wanted to know the person, but I didn't tell her who the person is, because she was already rooting for him. She wanted us to be together, and me, I was like, no, no way, no way. So I didn't tell her that he was the one. It was later, after we got married, that I told her the person. So yeah, that was one way that I knew. And then when I was praying about it, I had several dreams, because I believe that God talks to me through dreams. That's one of the ways that, you know, God talks to me. So there are several, you know, dreams and confirmation. And even there was a time that, you know, after I finished praying, there was a lady that I respect a lot, and she was a leader in my church, and she just, out of the blues, she didn't even know that he was interested in me. Out of the blue, she just mentioned him to me. And I was like, oh my goodness, yesterday I was actually thinking about this thing, and this lady just confirmed it. And apart from her, so many people too confirmed it, and they were just what is that word? They were just confirming what I knew, but I was just denying. I was living in denial, let's say that. Yeah, because of the standards again. And then when I had an accident, yeah, that was the main deal. When I had an accident, I was rushed to the hospital, and then Brother Tola was there. My friend called him and his other friend, and then they came to the hospital, and then he held my hands and he was praying. Do you remember that? So why were you praying? And God convince her, or you were just praying that I should get better? Anyways, so I was rushed to the hospital and he came. So he held my hands and he was praying, and then, you know, I just felt this peace, and I felt something say to me, as if someone, like a voice, like someone was talking to me, not like loud voice, but I felt it. And he said that, like, this is your husband, no jokes. And I was trying to open my eyes to see who the person was, but I knew that it was him, but I wasn't sure, because there was like lots of people there, and he was there with his friend as well. At first I thought it was the other person that was, you know, praying for me, and when I opened my eyes, it was kind of blurry, and then I saw him, and then they took me to just stitch my wounds. And then I just knew that, you know, this guy is my husband, because he told me before that, you know, he's interested in me, but I didn't say yes, I didn't say no. I just, you know, shove it and left it, because I just felt like, you know, let me still be looking around. Maybe not looking around, it shouldn't be like because I had so many people that were interested in me, right? And I was still weighing my options before I'll now, you know, get to his turn. But then after that accident and that incident, I knew that he was the one. Then I told the same person I told you guys that I told about that dream I had, and then I told the person that, see, this is my husband, and I think I'm ready for a relationship now. So yeah, and then I just told her. She was laughing at me, and because she even stopped talking to me about him, because everyone was talking to me and I wasn't even listening. I wasn't paying attention to anyone, and they just left me to do whatever I want to do. So when I told her, she was excited, because she gave up on me, and yeah, that was.
Shine your eye well. Okay.
I share my God said this girl, then the veil has to be removed.
That's so.
So how did you know I was the one?
Well,
Yours is no long story
there's
like
not
mine.
at all.
So
Well, for me, I mean, there's a combination of multiple things. I would say one of the first ones, I mean, as an advice to anybody from our experiences, you need to first be aware of your own standards and values,
right,
and the things that you can tolerate
right,
in other people and things you cannot tolerate. Everybody's not perfect, but I guess everyone has non-negotiables,
right.
things that they cannot compromise, right? So I mean, I had been, should I use the word monitoring or
monitoring spirit.
or observing
Oh, shit.
for a while. Obviously, I mean, there's physical attraction, so let's not gloss over that. So I was physically attracted to her, number one. And number two, I mentioned that there's certain things I can't tolerate, and there's certain things I like about people. And she, with no strings attached, I was able to observe her in different social situations, right? And I could see those values in her, right? And even the things that I did not like, she also seemed to not to like it as well,
Are you
right?
sure it's not my sweet food? Sorry. God.
Well, I can let you know I wasn't suffering when I was a bachelor.
Did I say it was suffering? I did not say you were suffering
I'm
now.
just saying too.
I don't even eat my food like that, so I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, continue.
But the point is, you should try to observe people from afar,
Right.
and you should be in social situations, right? Don't stay at home all the time, especially if you are looking. Exactly. So again, I would say the time of observing people should be when there is no interest expressed yet, because people can start pretending, right? So
yeah,
it should be just in a regular social situation, whatever, whether it's in church, whether it's at a get together, whether it's at a even possibly professional function, right? Just try to observe people and see how they react in certain situations. For example, one of the ones that I'll be interested in is, imagine if you go out with someone at a restaurant, right? Can you see the way the person treats the waiter, right? Does the person look down on the waiter? At least for me, those are the things that I don't like. I don't like it when people look down on others or feel that they are superior to other people, right? So does the person say thank you when, for example, the waiter or whoever comes to pick up the plates? Little things like that, right? Those things matter to me. So those were the things I was looking for, and she ticked a lot of the boxes, right? So, and then secondly, for me is I'll say third, because I mentioned first physical attractions, and secondly, my standards or values. Thirdly, and this is all together for me. There's no number one or number two, but I would say you have to, if you're in that mode where maybe you identify her, as a guy, her, then you would have to pray, right? And when I prayed, it might be a cliche, but I didn't have any concern. I had a peace of mind about her, right? There was no dream that I had. There was no loud voice or small still voice. It was just, yeah, okay.
What if there was a voice but you did not just hear? You're
Well,
not here. You're not
and
listening.
then if the voice was saying something, he didn't have a message for me in particular.
Okay. Okay.
So the next one is, I think the next point is based on a Bible verse that in the multitude of counsel there is safety, right? So the other ones obviously my pastor, my parents, and also some of my close friends, and also others that were around me,
Some
so
of
to
your
say.
close friends. Who are those close friends?
Well, I wouldn't say I deliberately went out to tell them, but obviously when they observed certain things, they asked questions, and I said yes. Right. So
They saw that the oil was in love. Okay.
so the point is that no one had anything negative to say about her. Right. My pastor also prayed along with me. I think that's important. And I also told my parents as well. Right. I believe obviously we don't maybe always agree with what they have to say, but they have certain, if I choose the word spiritual, I don't know if it's oversight, or there's a grace that God has given to them as parents, right? To see certain things, right? So
I'm sorry to cut you. So that's one thing for me that is very important. If a guy, especially guy, someone that loves God, and and he claims that he loves you, he claims that he wants to be in a relationship with you, and that relationship will lead to marriage or might lead to marriage, then he shouldn't be scared to introduce you to his pastor. Not even introduce you, he doesn't, because you didn't introduce me to anyone. You just told them about me, right? And they prayed with you, and I didn't even know that he told them about me. It was later that I knew, right? So the guy should be able to tell his spiritual head. He should be able to tell people that he respects, like his parents, his pastors, or just he should have someone that he has told about you. That's one of the key thing that you will know that the guy is really serious about you. Or if he's hiding you and he doesn't want anyone to know that you guys are in a relationship, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think he's interested. Maybe he's just there to chop and clean out. I mean, that's what they do. They want to hide it. They have main chick, or maybe you are just the side chick. So, yeah, that was one of the ways. No, that's one of the way I knew that Tolani was the one. So I still have other ways that I knew that he was the one, but I'll discuss it in other videos. So thank you so much. Do you have anything to say? Do you have something else?
I guess it's important to, I mean, I would say especially as a guy, but this also applies to ladies, that even if you don't have the full details of what you think your vision and your purpose is in life, kind of have a general idea, right? Because when you start going along the path to fulfilling the vision, right, you would want someone that understands that vision. You want someone that agrees with it. You want someone that is passionate about it, right? So even I wouldn't say I had all the answers at that time. In fact, I still don't. There was general ideas about what I wanted my life to be in 20 years or 30 years time, right? And she had the same feeling as well. Again, some of these things I gleaned from those social interactions, right? When, for example, there's a topic that is brought up, you see the way the person thinks about it, you see the person's mindset, right? And then obviously when we also started our dating relationship as well, when we kind of discuss certain things about the future, right? Then you see the person's interest and where the person lies on certain things. So that in itself also validated that okay, this person is someone that will be an addition to me. You know, let's be real. You don't want a liability in your marriage. That sounds a bit harsh, but I think it's, it's the way to say it. Uh, you have to both be in agreement about what the future looks like if it's going to work, right? So that's just the last thing I would like to say.
Okay, thank you very much for that, for sharing that with us and everyone.
Thank you for having.
Sorry guys for the noise in the background. We don't have any babysitter because we are recording this video and we're babysitting our son, so bear with us. So thank you very much guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.